Welcome to Anime Archaeologist. Today, I'll be reviewing episode 8 of Shikimori-san because Kabit series have nothing on this anime. So, what did happen in here? Basically, we see more of the school festival from the previous episode, and we see a focus towards Kamiya. Episode-wise, it does offer closure to the previous episode in a well-written way, and it's comfy as well. As to why, I'll explain it here. Warning! Spoilers! Spoilers, I tell you! The episode begins with a rather shiny ball straight out of a fairy tale. Starting off with Sakuga, are we? Kamiya shows up and she is swarmed by her fans. Yu pops up and Kamiya notices. As she approaches Yu, Michon shows up and he asks her for a dance. Kamiya looks on, sad. Continuing from the previous episode, we see Kamiya and Yu talk about a movie. For a tomboy, Kamiya sure is very girly. She mentions that girls who wait around are not exactly popular in this day and age. I'll get back to this one later. I've been noticing something. That the movie that Kamiya was talking about encapsulates her feelings towards Yu and Michon's relationship. All of a sudden, Kyo shows up and asks Kamiya to come with her. We see Michon asking to trade numbers with Kamiya, complete with an explanation, and the latter says yes. Yu shows up and invites them all in the library. Yu's kindness touches Kamiya and Michon notices something. That Yu is happily talking to Kamiya. After this, Kamiya returns to her class while Kyo, Michon, and Yu return to theirs. Kamiya shows up to her class's cafe and her classmates praise her for it, complete with how famous her class's cafe is because of her presence. She spaces out, however, and goes to the roof of the school. Michon shows up and wants return number 44 to her. We see a flashback of Kamiya helping out Yu in the library and that she's stunned by how Yu mentions that she's kind because she usually gets called cool instead. Back to the present, Michon says that she's noticed one thing. That Kamiya has feelings for Yu. I find how Michon and Kamiya are more mature than the typical Kabitsuria women. How so? Because Michon sees that Kamiya is not a bad woman and that Kamiya doesn't hate Michon over this. The fact that those two are teenagers makes it better than the typical Kabitsuria because the women in those soap operas are adults who should know better than to commit adultery. I get that it's cathartic to smack the woman who's stealing the main character's man and all, but seeing that type of cliche play out again and again and again since the late 2000s is very boring in terms of writing and reeks of immaturity in regards to the characters involved. Earlier, Kamiya mentioned that anything important to you should be kept within your heart and not shared. This, along with the whole thing about women who wait around aren't exactly popular, and the fairy tale thing from earlier makes sense. It's all from Kamiya's own experience with unrequited love towards you. She even says that she has no intention of anyone finding it out. All that while holding back her tears before crying. She also mentions that Yu is kind and that she is comfortable around him. Michon comforts Kamiya, and the two became friends. The next day, Yu prepares a gift for Michon. In school, we see Yu's class still doing the animal cafe and that fortune-telling booth is attracting quite a crowd. Later, the various classes are at a restaurant. It is revealed that Yu's class lost to that fortune-telling booth from earlier. Michon tells Yu and Kyo that she never got to take that picture with Yu. After this, we see our couple going to the park. Yu gives Michon his gift because it's both her birthday and their anniversary. Michon is pleased by this and Yu says that he's noticing something sus with Michon. As he puts on her necklace, he tells her that he'll always be by her side. Michon says that Yu hasn't changed and that she fears that he may drift away from her. He tells her that he's changed and he's right. Him becoming a manly man in episode 6 has proved it. He wants to get stronger, he says? Damn! He really is gonna be a Giga Chad, is he? Michon is so touched by this and she ends up weeping. After calming her down, she tells him that she won't let him go, and so the episode ends. This episode follows chapters 42, 43, and 44 of the manga. School festivals are a staple in many an anime, especially those which are set in schools, ranging from Nitogi no Yome to Inuyasha to Haruhi Suzumiya, among others. I like how Kamiya didn't become a full-blown rival, let alone a fling. Last time I've seen this type of development was with Tasho Tomoyoto Gibanashi, wherein Ryo pretty much apologized to Yuzuki after the former tried to seduce Tomohiko. I swear, why does anime have more maturity than the kabitserye? The average kabitserye, which is a Filipino soap opera genre about homewreckers, just goes for the same formula. Infidelity ensues. That's it. Nothing more. If this is done with teens, obviously without any marriage, it would have been believable. But no, seeing adults commit infidelity in a soap opera is not only boring but also stupid. Get the defense that this is supposed to be relatable and everything, but that's only making the position look even worse. This episode is also a very good take on Kamiya as a character. I just hope that we see more of her as the series goes on, because she's very interesting, not gonna lie. I'm recommending this episode for one very good reason. It's a good take on love triangles as compared to the kabitserye. Next week, I will not be reviewing episode 9, as episode 9 will be released on June 19th.